Tycoon welcomes a poor family to his child's birthday. But something shocks him. The Harper mansion in Chicago buzzed with energy. Balloons in red and gold bobbed against the high ceilings. And the smell of warm vanilla cake drifted through the air. Tables sparkled with silverware, ready for a big celebration. It was Liam Harper's 7th birthday. And his father, James Harper, had spared no expense. The grand dining room was decked out with streamers. A clown was warming up his tricks. And a giant chocolate cake waited in the kitchen. But one person wasn't caught up in the excitement: Liam. In his wheelchair by the tall window, Liam stared outside. His small hands fidgeted with the blanket over his lap. A year ago, a car accident had taken his mother, Sarah Harper, and left him unable to walk. His bright, playful spirit had faded, replaced by a quiet sadness. Birthdays were supposed to be happy. But for Liam, the day felt heavy, like a reminder of what he'd lost. His blue eyes followed the clouds, and he wondered if his mom was watching from somewhere up there. James knelt beside his son, his heart aching at the sight of Liam's distant expression. "Hey, buddy," he said softly, resting a hand on Liam's shoulder. "Look at all this. Grandma Ellen, Grandpa Tom, Aunt Lily, and Uncle Mark are coming soon with presents. What would make you smile today? Tell me, and I'll make it happen." Liam's gaze met his father's. For a moment, a spark of hope flickered in his eyes. "I miss Mom," he whispered. "And I wish I had a friend. Someone to play with. Someone who gets it." James forced a smile, though his chest tightened. "Your mom's always with you, champ. She'd want you to have fun today." He ruffled Liam's hair. "And friends? You'll have tons. You're going to get stronger. And soon you'll be racing around the backyard with them. I promise." Liam didn't reply. He just turned back to the window. His shoulders slumped. James stood, running a hand through his hair. Since the accident, he'd buried himself in work at Harper Sweets, his company that made fancy candies and desserts. The business was booming, but his home felt empty. He'd flown in doctors from all over to help Liam, but none had unlocked the boy's legs. The doctors said Liam's spine was fine. It was his heart and mind holding him back. Today, of all days, James wanted to see his son smile, but he didn't know how. That afternoon, a storm rolled into Chicago. Dark clouds swallowed the sky, and rain poured down, sending people scrambling for cover. James, on a quick errand to grab extra party treats, stepped out of a small market in the West Loop. His arms were full of pastry boxes when he noticed a woman and a young girl huddled near the entrance. The woman's coat was thin, barely shielding her from the wind. The girl, about 6, clung to her mother's leg, her curly hair dripping wet, her sneakers soaked. Something about them stopped James. Maybe it was the way the woman stood tall despite the storm, or the way the girl's big brown eyes peeked out. Curious but shy, he reached into his pocket, pulled out some cash, and approached. "Hey," he called over the wind. "You two look cold. Take this. Get some food. Find somewhere dry." The woman looked up, surprised. She shook her head, her voice calm but firm. "That's kind of you, but we're not homeless. I'm Clara Evans, and this is my daughter, Sophie. We're from Boulder, Colorado. We missed our bus, and this storm caught us off guard. The store wouldn't let us wait inside." James glanced at Sophie, who shivered and hid her face in Clara's coat. An idea hit him. "Look, my son Liam is having a birthday party today. It's at our place, not far from here. He doesn't have many kids to celebrate with, and I think he'd like the company. You and Sophie should come. There's food, warmth, and I'll get you a ride home when the storm passes." Clara blinked, caught off guard. "You're inviting strangers to your son's party?" James chuckled. "Yeah, I guess so, but I can tell you're good people. Liam needs a friend, and you need a dry place. Maybe it's meant to be." Clara hesitated, glancing at Sophie. The girl's eyes lit up. "Can we, Mom?" she whispered. "A real party sounds fun." Clara's expression softened. She nodded. "Okay, but we won't stay long." James grinned. "Great, I'll send a car. My housekeeper, Margaret, will let you in." He scribbled his address and a gate code on a receipt. As he turned to leave, Clara called out, "Wait, we can't show up without a gift. It's a birthday." James waved it off. "You don't need to." "No," Clara said firmly. "A gift is important." She dug through her bag, counting her last few dollars. In the market, she found a small toy, a plastic orb that glowed with soft colors and played gentle music when shaken. Sophie clapped, delighted. Liam will love it. By the time James got home, the party was in full swing. The clown juggled, guests laughed, and the cake's rich chocolate scent filled the air. But Liam sat apart, his eyes dull. Then the front door opened. Margaret led Clara and Sophie inside. Clara wore a faded sweater, and Sophie's jacket didn't match her boots. But her smile was bright as she clutched the glowing orb. The room quieted. Guests whispered, noticing the newcomer's worn clothes. Ellen Harper, James's mother, stiffened. She leaned toward her son, her voice low. "James, who are these people?" Before he could answer, Sophie ran to Liam. "Hi, I'm Sophie," she said, holding out the orb. "This is for you." Liam hesitated, then took the gift. When he shook it, soft lights danced inside, and a quiet tune played. His lips curved into a smile, his first real one in months. James let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. Maybe this was what Liam needed. The party went on, but Ellen's disapproval hung in the air. She watched Clara and Sophie with narrowed eyes, her arms crossed, over appetizers. She pulled James aside. "Why are they here?" she asked sharply. "You don't know anything about this woman." James sipped his drink, keeping his tone even. "Her name's Clara Evans. They got stuck in the storm. Look at Liam, Mom. He's smiling. That's worth it." Ellen frowned. "You're too trusting, James. She could be after your money. And that girl. Do you want Liam getting attached to someone who'll leave tomorrow?" James's jaw tightened. Liam needs a friend, not more loneliness. Clara's not here to scam us. She even insisted on bringing a gift. Ellen huffed but dropped it, though her eyes never left Clara. Across the room, Liam and Sophie sat on the floor, rolling the glowing orb between them. "Your house is huge," Sophie said, looking around. "I've never seen anything like it." Liam shrugged. "It feels empty sometimes. It was better when Mom was here. She made everything warm." Sophie nodded. "I don't have a dad. It's just me and Mom. We move a lot. Sometimes we don't have a warm place to stay." Liam frowned. "Where do you live?" Sophie pointed to Clara. "Wherever Mom goes. She says we'll find a real home soon." Liam thought for a moment. "Maybe you could stay here." Sophie giggled. "Your dad might not like that." "I'm serious," Liam said. "I like you, and Dad likes your mom." Before Sophie could reply, James called out, "Time for cake, birthday boy." The towering chocolate cake stole the show. Liam, now eager, sat up straight as James lit the candles. "Make a wish," he said. Liam glanced at Sophie, squeezed her hand, and whispered something before blowing out the candles. Clara, watching from the side, felt a warmth she hadn't known in years. She'd spent so long protecting Sophie from disappointment that she'd forgotten what joy felt like. But Ellen wasn't done. She pulled James into the hallway. "You're not thinking straight," she said. "You don't know this woman. She could be trouble." James sighed. "She's not after anything, Mom. I can see it in her eyes. She's just trying to take care of her daughter." "You're grieving," Ellen said, her voice softer. "You want to fix Liam so badly you're taking risks." "It's not a risk," James said. "It's a chance for Liam to feel alive again." Ellen shook her head. "Just be careful." As the night ended, Clara gathered Sophie's things. "Thank you, James," she said. "This meant a lot." Sophie grabbed Liam's hand. "I don't want to go." Liam looked at his father. "Dad, can Sophie stay? Just tonight?" Clara opened her mouth to protest. But James spoke first. "Stay. The storm's still bad. And it's late. You and Sophie can have a warm bed and breakfast tomorrow." Clara hesitated, then nodded. "Just tonight." Liam and Sophie cheered. But in the guest room, Clara lay awake, staring at the ceiling. She'd been running for years, from poverty, from mistakes, from a past she couldn't escape. James's kindness was a gift. But it scared her. If he knew the truth about her, everything could fall apart. The next morning, sunlight poured into the Harper mansion. Clara helped Sophie dress, her stomach twisting. At breakfast, Liam and Sophie giggled over pancakes. But Ellen's gaze was cold. "Clara," she said, her tone sharp. "Where are you from?" Clara set her fork down. "We've moved a lot. It's just me and Sophie." "And her father?" Ellen pressed. Clara's voice stayed steady. "It's been just us for a long time." Ellen's eyes narrowed, but James shot her a look, and she let it go. The tension was thick, and Clara knew she wasn't welcome. Later, As James walked Clara and Sophie to the car, he said, "If you ever need help, call me." Clara smiled faintly. "You've done enough." Sophie hugged Liam. "Promise we'll see each other again?" "I promise," Liam said. Before Clara could leave, Ellen called James inside. She turned to Clara in the study, her voice icy. "I checked your background. There's nothing, no records, no history. You're hiding something." Clara's heart raced, but she stood tall. "I have a past, yes, but I'm not here to hurt James or Liam. We just needed shelter. Then find it somewhere else," Ellen said. Clara walked out, her jaw set. Outside, she took Sophie's hand. "We're going." James frowned. "Whatever my mom said, you don't have to leave." "Yes, I do," Clara said softly. He placed a hand on her arm. "If you need anything, I mean it, call." Clara nodded, her throat tight. As they drove away, she glanced in the rearview mirror. Liam waved from the driveway, his face falling. Clara's heart broke, but she kept driving, knowing this wasn't the end, but it wasn't a beginning either.